All right. What is one big thing that has grown over the past 20 years? One of the most common answers is technology, specifically phones, tablets, and computers. While this has grown, so has the research concerning short and long-term effects of too much screen time. Sadly, I can say I am guilty of staring at a screen for much longer than I probably should. But although my speech isn't directed towards our age group, it does affect me in knowing that if I want to have kids in the future, this would be something I would have to think about. But how truthful is this information, and how harmful is it? Through research, I created a speech that will explain both the positive and negative effects of screen time. I will discuss technology in classrooms, influences through media, and long-term effects of screen time. My first topic is beginning with technology in classrooms. Technology is widely used in today's classrooms. Teachers will use it for lessons or just to entertain the kids. An example of this was given in the article Video Games and Learning by Alicia Alt. She tells the story of Elizabeth Box and her 7th grade social studies class and how they were struggling to learn the lesson until she introduced video games. Elizabeth Box created a game where an apocalypse of some sort took over the world, and the kids had to dig up certain documents such as the Constitution to save the world. The game, called Give Me Liberty, was a huge hit and changed the way her whole class viewed learning. Box says they love it because they're not forced to move forward when they don't understand. This is just one of many examples of technology being used in classrooms. My next topic is media and its influences on kids. I'm going to focus this topic on television. There's a variety of kids' educational TV shows, but there's also another side to TV and entertainment, and it's sadly not difficult to reach that other side. In the article Bad Influences on Youth, H.B. Schaefer states, comic books, TV shows, and movies give kids a heavy diet of sin and crime in a vivid form that wasn't available to previous generations. Schaefer also states that elementary-aged kids spend 22 to 27 hours in front of a TV screen, which is the same amount of time they spend in a classroom weekly. There was also an experiment done in New York based on 7 kids' TV channels. They said in 1 week there was over 7,000 acts of violence shown on TV. These are just a few different examples of influences the media has on kids. Along with influences come long-term effects. Technology has positive and negative influences. Positive influences is it connects kids to the outer world and other information. It can connect you to family that lives across the country. It also helps kids become more independent. But there also is negative effects to this. Stephen Golden writes how screen guidelines have been overstepped by the APA all over the world. He also states how parents don't find setting guidelines to be important for their kids. He says, overall, parents didn't spend significant time considering the effects of screen time on a child's development. Things like physical health and emotional welfare became more important. I also found out that parents use screens to distract their kids. Sam Haplin states, a survey found that 61% of parents will use devices to manage their kids' behavior when out and about, and 70% will distract their kids with devices while doing other tasks. One other problem I found was technology can cause family issues. Eva Ruth states, studies show that in most households, there is an argument over a device at least once a week. Bray MacArthur adds to this by saying, first, screen patterns form entirely during early childhood. Second, family factors relate to screen use and affect it. And third, high screen users in childhood will have poor developmental outcomes when they're older. So I added this because I like how it is divided into the different age groups, and you can compare between the different ages and see the differences in numbers. So they ask each one, how many of you have your own tablet? And they give the percentage for each. And just being able to compare it, 3 to 4 year olds have 10% have their own tablet. Then you look at 12 to 15, that's already up to 50%. Although the research hasn't been studied long, we already have a solid understanding of the effects of too much screen time. Monique Moore says, the amount of time kids spend viewing media has increased dramatically in the last 2 decades, despite research showing relations to negative developmental outcomes. Some of these outcomes include loss of cognitive ability, worsening social skills, or delayed learning. Also, an early introduction to technology can cause disorders such as ADHD and ASD. Your physical health will also decline in this time. Roos states in the UK in 2018, kids had over 27 hours of screen time per week. That's concerning because screen time is connected to obesity and depressive symptoms. As you can see, there's both positive and negative effects to technology. I also included this graph. It's a lot of the same information, but I think it did a very good job of visually showing you the difference. So this is US kids, 2 to 10, and their average free time in a week. What do they do? Top is screen time, that's about 18, 19 hours. Then you have indoor screen-free play, outside play, doing things with the parent, adult. And then all the way at the bottom is like sports and activities, which I found surprising. Sports and activities is only 5.3 hours compared to screen-based play. So it's about 3 more times. In conclusion, many side effects come with screen time. In my speech, I discussed technology in classrooms, influences through media, and the effects of too much screen time. I hope you learned something about technology and screen time today. Thank you.